Captain, before we step onto this sweet and layered island, tell me, what does cake make you feel when it means a sweet baked food, a shaped block or flat mass of something, and the idea that something is very easy in informal speech? Meaning 1. A sweet baked food, often for celebrations. Used for a soft baked dessert made with flour, sugar, eggs, and other ingredients. Example: they cut the cake after the sunset celebration on deck. Common use: birthday cake, chocolate cake, slice of cake. Cake for tonight. Meaning 2. A shaped block, flat mass, or compact piece of something, used for soap, mud, dirt, makeup, or similar material formed into a solid or thick piece. Example: a hard cake of salt had formed on the edge of the old barrel. Common use: cake of soap, mud cake, caked salt. Salt cake form. Meaning 3. Something very easy to do in informal speech, used in casual English when a task feels simple and requires little effort. Example: for an experienced sailor, that short route was a cakewalk, pure cake. Common use: piece of cake, easy as cake, no cake at all. Cake level easy. Cake most commonly means the sweet baked food, but it can also mean a compact shaped mass of another material, such as soap or salt. In informal English, it appears in expressions like piece of cake, where it means something very easy. Read the sweetness, the shape, and the ease, Captain. Carry cake for the baked treat that brightens a gathering, for the solid mass that forms into a compact piece, and for the task that feels almost too easy to fear as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this fullness and finality island, tell me, what does completely make you feel when it means fully with nothing missing, entirely to the highest degree, and in a way that leaves no part unchanged or untouched? Meaning 1. Fully, totally, with nothing missing. Used when something is finished or done in full. Example: they completely repaired the damaged sail before dawn. Common use: completely finished, completely ready, completely repaired. Completely repaired. Meaning 2. Entirely, absolutely, to the highest degree. Used when a feeling, opinion, or condition is total and strong. Example: she was completely certain that the tide would turn soon. Common use: completely sure, completely wrong, completely different. Completely sure. Meaning 3. In a way that leaves no part untouched or unchanged. Used when something changes or covers every part of a place, object, or situation. Example: the thick fog completely covered the harbor by morning. Common use: completely covered, completely changed, completely filled. Completely covered. Completely is a strong adverb that means fully, totally, or in every part. It can describe completed actions, strong opinions, or changes that affect the whole of something. Read every full ending and total change, Captain. Carry completely for the action done with nothing missing, for the certainty felt at the highest level, and for the force that covers or changes the whole scene without leaving a single part behind as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this fabric and cover island, tell me, what does cloth make you feel when it means woven material used for making things, a piece of fabric used for cleaning or covering, and a particular kind or quality of fabric? Meaning 1. Woven material used for making clothes, sails, curtains, and other things. Used for fabric in a general sense as a material. Example: the workers chose strong cloth for the new sail. Common use: cotton cloth, silk cloth, cloth material. Strong cloth sail. Meaning 2. A piece of fabric used for cleaning, wiping, or covering something. Used for a smaller piece of material in everyday work. Example: she wiped the wet table with a dry cloth. Common use: cleaning cloth, damp cloth, tablecloth. Dry cloth here. Meaning 3. A particular kind, style, or quality of fabric. Used when talking about fabric as a type with a special look or purpose. Example: the shop sold a rich red cloth for festival clothing. Common use: fine cloth, heavy cloth, red cloth. Fine red cloth. Cloth often means fabric as a material in general, but it can also mean a smaller piece used for cleaning or covering. In another common use, it refers to a specific type or quality of fabric, such as fine cloth or heavy cloth. Read every thread with care, Captain. Carry cloth for the woven material that becomes useful things, for the simple piece that cleans and covers with quiet service, and for the special fabric whose quality gives color and character to the journey as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this life and space island, tell me, what does cell make you feel when it means the smallest living unit in the body, a small room such as a prison room, and a small section in a table, grid, or battery system? Meaning 1. The smallest living unit in the body, or in a plant or animal, used for the tiny basic part that living things are made of. Example: the doctor explained how each cell in the body needs water and energy. Common use: body cell, brain cell, skin cell. Body cell model. Meaning 2. A small room, especially one used in a prison or monastery. Used for a narrow enclosed room with very limited space. Example: the guard locked the heavy door of the stone cell before nightfall. Common use: prison cell, dark cell, locked cell. Stone cell door. Meaning 3. A small section in a table, grid, or battery system, used for one box in a chart or spreadsheet, or one unit inside a battery or technical structure. Example: she entered the number in the last cell of the report. Common use: table cell, battery cell, grid cell. Last cell entry. Cell is a word with several very different meanings. In biology, it means the tiny living unit that makes up plants, animals, and people. In another meaning, it is a small enclosed room, especially in prisons or old religious buildings. In technical and written contexts, it can mean one small unit in a grid, chart, or battery. Read the tiny unit, the narrow room, and the small structured space with care, Captain. Carry cell for the living piece that builds a body, for the enclosed room that limits movement, and for the small market unit that gives order and power to larger systems as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this mass and majority island, tell me, what does bulk make you feel when it means the main mass or size of something, the largest part of something, and goods handled in large amounts rather than in small separate packages? Meaning 1. The main mass, size, or large body of something, used for something big, heavy, or taking up a lot of space. Example: the dark bulk of the ship appeared through the morning fog. Common use: huge bulk, bulk of the ship, dark bulk. Bulk of the ship. Meaning 2. The largest part or majority of something. Used for most of a group, amount, or whole. Example: the bulk of the work was finished before noon. Common use: the bulk of the people, the bulk of the job, the bulk of the money. Bulk of the work. Meaning 3. Goods handled in large amounts, not in small separate packages. Used in trade, transport, or storage for materials moved in large quantity. Example: the harbor stored grain in bulk before the winter trade began. Common use: buy in bulk, bulk storage, bulk goods. Bulk grain storage. Bulk often refers to something large in mass or size, but it is also very commonly used for the biggest part of something, as in the bulk of the work. In business and transport, it has a practical meaning for goods handled in large quantity rather than in individual units. Measure size, quantity, and importance with clear eyes, Captain. Carry bulk for the great mass that fills the horizon, for the largest part that carries most of the weight, and for the goods moved in vast amount before the next tide turns as we sail to the next island.